when I was younger, like that was something that I kind of championed more than anything else, would be kind of making people laugh. I was so desperately wanting people to think I was funny.
I just love that fact because fashion typically is not funny. How, as an artist, do you pivot?
The videos were just fun. I did one and I got some laughs, and then I did more.
When you first started the Runway, did people think you were like taking the piss?
People will sometimes be like, "You will never be Kim Kardashian," and I'm like,
What? What do you mean?
"This is my dog."
Who is that?
At the beginning, I would post a illustration every single day. That gave me structure.
Well, I think a lot of people say when you love what you do, you're never working a day in your life.
Yes, I just think that it's nice when brands give creators creative freedom. But I am like, Ferrero Rocher, where are you at? Why are you not in my DMs yet?
Yeah, like it's, I mean. Angelica, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. I'm such a fan.
No, I'm so happy to be here. I'm a fan too.
Do you remember the first time that we met and I fangirled over you really hard?
Yes, and yeah, and it was honestly, it was very flattering, and yeah, I'm English, so it makes you blush.
Oh, makes you,
But it
yeah.
was no,
And
it was really
I also think at that point, I wasn't sure if people would have known you. Well, I didn't know you by sight. I just remember asking what your name was, and then you said your last name, and I freaked out. And that was also before you were doing the hilarious videos that you're doing now. And I was just a fan of your artwork.
yeah, that was when I was just doing I was like only posting photos, not photos, obviously illustrations on Instagram, and I kind of had a rule of I'll never share, kind of like an actual photo. I wanted, it was when I there was some sort of belief in like the grid being so perfectly curated. So all of my illustrations also had kind of a white background as
Yep.
well, and I would, edit them on Photoshop to remove the background so that it almost just looked like a continuous page of drawings, and then I became less precious.
Mhm. Well, that's interesting. I wanna get deeper into that, but I'm gonna save that for another question. Um, so tell me briefly, like, about your upbringing and how it sort of impacted who you are, like, your spirit, your humor, and your persistence. And when I say persistence, I think a lot of what I wanna share is people's stories and how they are able to break into such unconventional, um, sort of line of work, and particularly in the fashion business when it is just it can be really intense and for numerous reasons. So, I mean, I don't know you that well personally, but I certainly resonate with your sense of humor. I think it's amazing. It is such a gift, and what a refreshing point of view in the fashion industry. So I always like to talk to people, especially when they have a good vibe. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't know you that well, but I know that you have a good vibe. I can tell. It's pretty. So tell me just like briefly about, your upbringing and how did it sort of had an impact on who you are today? Just your personality, how you decided to do that, and then also your persistence, your mindset.
I was brought up in London, and my mother is Italian, my father is English, and both of them have creative careers as opposed to, kind of more traditional ones. So I guess growing up with or like office jobs or whatever. So growing up with two parents who, kind of like both essentially freelanced as well, I guess. I mean, they had companies or whatever, but they were um their own boss, as it were. So I guess I had the privilege of being exposed to that from an early age. So I guess I kind of, and also both my parents really did make me believe that I could do anything I wanted to do. I guess I had very supportive parents, which
Wow.
was which was really great. And also I had the advantage of, even though I didn't really, I stopped doing art at school when I was 15 because I just didn't really like the teachers, I guess. Uh and also just the way in which it functions in an academic environment is a bit or maybe it was like, particularly to the environment I was in, whatever. I didn't love it. But I was very lucky because at home, my parents were very creative. And so we would, they weren't gonna, my dad's not like sporty, so he wasn't gonna like, we weren't gonna kick a ball around outside, but we would maybe sit around a table drawing. And that would just be something that you would do like on holiday in my household growing up. And so that I think that's extremely fortunate because it means that even though I had, like I stopped um making stuff, whatever, studying art, when I was like 15, it meant that I didn't like lose my creativity or whatever because if
Mhm.
anything, I was like doing it in a less controlled environment. So I was able to just like I was making whatever I wanted, and that was encouraged. And also, we weren't like our parents. All family members at Christmas or at birthdays, they'd never, they'd always kind of say, don't buy me something, but make it. Which obviously, that was also kind of a more attractive prospect because it saved money. So instead of kind of, going out and buying presents before Christmas, me and my sister would like just basically hole ourselves up in our room for like, because we obviously didn't have foresight with it. So for about 3 days, just painting nonstop.
Wow.
But it's cool because I was able to like, kind of like keep do and yeah, I don't know. I guess that's the kind of outbreak. And then I guess sense of humor. Just when I was younger, like that was something that I kind of championed more than anything else would be, kind of making people laugh. That I really just got a kick out of it. And that was what I wanted people to think I was funny. I was so desperately wanted people to think I was funny.
Wait, are any
Um,
of your family humorous? Like,
yeah,
funny like
yeah,
that?
I guess like my dad is quite can be quite funny. I don't have like any stand-up comedians in my family.
Mhm.
But
But, like,
so
is humor sort of a part of
not by profession, but from part of the personality, we can say, yeah.
yeah. What does your mom and your dad do?
My mother was a fashion designer, and now she is an artist, and my father is an interior designer slash also seems to be doing some murals as well.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
So okay. And so you studied art when you were at school. Like, did you know you wanted to be an artist from a young kid?
So I stopped studying art after it was, as previously mentioned, when I was about 15, because, I mean, it was just part of the syllabus before that, and then I
Oh,
took the
sorry. Okay.
GCSE. Yeah.
Sorry. In America, we don't have that. I was
Oh,
like, "Oh."
no.
Yeah, no, we just, like, have arts and crafts, like finger painting, and then that's it.
So you stopped when you're, like, 5?
Yeah, kinda, I mean,
Wow.
isn't that weird? Like, we
That
don't
is weird.
yeah, it just goes on, like, you make little for Thanksgiving, like, drawings of turkeys, and then when your parents are it's like, "Happy Father's Day, Happy Mother's Day," you do a card, and that's it.
It's not a subject that anyone has.
No.
Oh my god,
That's why when you said you stopped at 15, I was like, "Oh, did you go to some kind of art school or something?" And then
no,
you're
that's
just
so
like,
sad.
no, we don't" yeah. It's just not a part of the curriculum,
See,
which
I
is kind of
guess, yeah,
unfortunate.
I did not know that.
And so but you do have a particular gift of your drawings. I mean, was that I mean, not everyone is that gifted, right? Did you realize you had something
Well, I
special?
definitely got a lot better as well. If I look back at some of my early drawings, they were like no, no, they're fine, but it was less I guess it was less about the drawing and maybe more about the funny idea with, the kind of wordplay, those, satirical fashion illustrations. I think
Mhm.
maybe I was just being like, "The idea is all that matters, I don't really care about the drawing," and then I began to care more about the drawing as well. So that's also kind of interesting because I guess I was doing after graduating university where I studied history of art, which contrary to what some people will be like, "Oh, that's why you draw," and I'm like, "No, no, it
No,
was
it
all."
just kinda I think because what you do is so well informed, I would just think it just makes that come through naturally.
Yeah, but, like, yeah, yes,
Not really. Yeah, I guess so.
not
It's not really
really,
fashion.
no, because it, like, also, like, our history at UCL, kind of it was, like, very philosophy based,
Yeah.
basically, and it was fine, it just made me realize that I did not love, um, writing long essays, so during that time, I started doing, kind of an illustration a day to keep me kind of, motivated through my final exams, which, I just, kind of like I think at that point I'd really lost passion. And so which is such a disappointing, frustrating kind of like place to find yourself in as like a 21-year-old who is about to be like graduating. So to kind of realize, oh my God, what is there? It was nice that, kind of like I started doing these satirical illustrations, and they just made me have, they made me feel something again. So that's how I became passionate about that instead.
Okay, so you stopped studying, you went to art history, and you're 21, you're about to graduate, and at that point, when you're doing illustrations every day, are they the illustrations, the kind of satirical ones that you got known for?
Yeah, yes. At the beginning, I also was doing illustrations for, I mean, as well as I was doing them for Porter magazine, which is Net-a-Porter's magazine, which I
I used to work there.
oh yeah?
That's so funny. What must have been after I left. No, I left in, like, 2019?
Oh my God, no, yeah, this was in the 2000, this was when I was
Oh,
freshly
in the
graduated.
magazine, in the magazine.
No, for the Instagram, and it would be, but it was kind of like it was the craziest way of doing it. It was I that was one of my first. Okay, so at the same time, I was doing 2 different things. I
Yeah.
was doing some for a magazine, run by Cambridge students.
Is that where you went to school?
No, I went to UCL, but I had a friend at
Okay,
Cambridge who was seeing the illustrations that I was posting online, and she was
okay.
like, "How would you feel like contributing kind of um illustrations that are more like they would be like, kind of like satirical but not fashion. It was like, kind of more intellectual, let's say, but it was the same kind of way of like melding. That's not a word.
Merging.
Merging.
Melding and merging.
Yeah, exactly.
Melding.
Merging, kind of popular culture references with, politics. So I had like, kind of like, Betty Friedan, The Feminine Mystique, uh, drawing of that book cover next to,
Mhm.
one of the Mean Girls characters, maybe it's Gretchen or Karen or whatever, being like, that's like basic rules of feminism, which obviously in the film is, really anyway. So like that made me laugh, and I doing that was really fun. And then I guess at the same time, can't remember were they even paying me? I don't know, but it was a student run magazine. And then Porter, I started doing them for them, and actually I found it was obviously it was I was like, wow, like they want me to do, kind of, but then that whole process became increasingly frustrating because I think if you where I got where have been very lucky in my career has been often I've been told, I've been allowed freedom, and been allowed to, kind of like, people will be like, whatever you think, and then I do that drawing, and then they're kind of happy. And so and that is something that I've managed to, I think with Porter, especially toward like, they would kind of say, oh no, um, oh, I had to run the idea by them. They'd be worried about offending people. And I was like, my stuff is all, it's satirical.
That's humor,
It's all gonna be a like,
right?
I'd done an Oscar de la Renta, like, with, like, a for Rent kind of thing, and they were like, "Oh my god, no." And I just kind of thought, "Oh my god." Luckily, um, I think I can't really remember what would happen, but I think sometimes I'd be like, "No, you have to, like, accept it," and I'd, like, kinda email someone else, and they'd be like, "Okay, fine." But it was, like, very much at the beginning, and anyway, then I stopped working with them because it became too because they were, I was just getting paid so little that I couldn't, which is something that I think at the time no one really spoke about, but it was kind of like, but I'm happy that, and I guess that's, maybe a question that is coming after, but like kind of advocating for yourself. Like they wanted to, I was on a exclusive retainer kind of thing, and they were paying me £50 per illustration, which is just not like, that's not okay. Anyway, so I'd been too embarrassed to say anything, and then I learned to advocate for yourself.
I mean,
And
if you want yeah, it's really tough. I think this business is just
it is, the
always
business
wanting
is
something
tough,
for
but also
free, and it's not
having
cool.
kind of the confidence that you are like, especially if you're trying to freelance, that you are obviously, I did do it for like what, 2 fashion weeks or something. Because like you do have to get your name out there, but then as soon, it's it's good to, I mean, quite frankly, they should have just paid me a bit more and then it would have all been and then it would
You
have
know
all
what I
been,
mean? A little bit goes a long way. Like, we all
especially because it was before, but it was like this was in like the prime of budgets. So,
right?
it was
Yeah,
like
it's
2012.
okay, so I must have just, yeah, not been around. I was the US just doing the website.
But this was UK. This was the UK. Anyway, it's good. It's good to like learn. And it's good to, because also like now I feel like experiences like that, because then there's some, it's just funny, like
Mhm.
so that was like a kind of learning curve of also like I think then shortly after I got an agent. because, because it is hard to kind of like it's hard and uncomfortable to be put in a position where you're trying to make someone believe that you're actually worth something.
Yeah.
Um,
How did you, because a lot of artists have that problem, and we all have agents and stuff for the most part, but in the beginning, I think a lot of people get taken advantage of. A lot of people are asked to do things that they wouldn't normally do because, fashion, everybody wants to be in it, blah, blah, blah. So, you talked a little bit about your parents instilling this confidence in you that you can do anything, that also just sort of seep into your personality. Are you generally a confident person? You seem like you are, but, to ask that would be like, oh, it's just they magazines make it hard for people to stand up for themselves, and it's like, okay, if you're gonna pay Patrick Demarchelier or
and now you're like aware that like actually people who work at magazines are also anyway, it's like it is a tough industry. I do like to I do still contribute to Cabana
oh,
magazine.
cool. Yeah.
Totally different work, interiors, illustrations. I do that like I actually just got an email today being like the next one's coming up. It's biannual, so I always like come back 'cause it's just twice a year. And then with watercolors, and then airmail sometimes as well, and that's fun. And I was doing Insol for a bit. Insol was really fun when Laura Brown was still there. I would do a lot of I do either like freelance illustrations for them or the horoscope. That was really fun doing the horoscope.
Oh, she's so hilarious. Also, she gets it. She, like, doesn't take it seriously. You know what I mean? And Graydon Carter is like, h if you look around at Clooney, I mean, there's drawings everywhere of everybody.
Yeah.
So and he's the best.
No, so those ones are really fun to and they also keep me still like drawing.
Mhm.
Basically, I think with illustration, I really enjoyed it. I was having a lot of fun. I had a little bit of burnout. And I just got annoyed because the advertising industry was doing such bad wordplay and it would be everywhere. And it was like, really, there was a moment, they're not doing it anymore, really, but they just, puns or like crap puns for like, I don't know, DoorDash commercials.
Oh, they wanted you to do, like,
No,
not
no,
your
no,
own
no.
stuff.
I was doing wordplay, but
Yeah, okay.
then wordplay became kind of trendy and like I'm not saying that that was because of me, but it was just my brain was in that kind of like mode or that and then I just got so kind of like, oh, I got like the ick from what I was doing basically, which is unfortunate. And it like, kind of to have sort of lost the passion that I'd had in the first place, I was like, "Fuck, what am I gonna do now?" Or, like, not what am I gonna do now, but, like, how am I gonna enjoy what I'm doing again? Because I don't, even if other people, like, still find my drawings funny, I don't, and they just, like it, like, bums me out. Anyway, then I just
Yeah. Well, so how as an artist, do you pivot? How do you pivot away from something, and how did you come up with the idea? Like, what came next? Was the sort of runway thing come next? And
I had already done a few, I'd done a few sort of variations on what I do on what my videos are now with kind of like still images that were like derivative of the like who wore it best. That was like, so I guess these were kind of commentary on, but it'd be who wore it best, but it obviously wasn't. It would be like me with a Dr. Jart face mask and Gucci runway model, and I would just get things from my wardrobe that like approximated what the person was wearing, but then it would have one element, kind of like which, recognizable to me, not recognizable to like, I don't know, like,
Just
straight
regular
men in my life,
people. Yeah,
and
yeah.
or even just, like, people who don't know what a Dr. Jart blue face mask is,
Yeah,
like,
outside or, like
which is actually quite a niche. It's quite a niche. It's not that niche anymore. Now they have it at Boots even in London, but,
oh, really? That's
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, I saw, like, at the fancy Boots, and it, um yeah, so I was like, "Okay, well, like, in like, obviously, normally, like, explaining a joke doesn't necessarily make it funnier, but my like, basically kind of being like, very serious about it and not being like, "This is deodorant, it rolls off," but just, like, using it for, I don't know, like, a tie or whatever, is, I don't know why my deodorant is here on the kitchen table as well. Oh,
Just
like,
the you may need it.
it
Someone
was
might
not
come out with a
prepared.
green tie.
That did actually work very well.
It looks
You
great.
see, sometimes you can't recreate it.
I love it.
Yeah, that actually is literally a green tie.
You probably would just, like, take a packet of chewing gum or, like, eat something like a candy and just
Or, well, sometimes you eat because eating, that's a sustainable prop, isn't it? Because I was using, like, all like, kind of like, aluminum foil, let's say, before, which I do still sometimes use, but to use it just well, and then, I used it, and then I put it in the baking tray so it could just get used again. But I actually just got really, like, upset when I guess one day my boyfriend was like, "Aluminum is a non-renewable resource." And I was like, "Oh god, that is actually really sad. So how can I use a bit less?" And that's well, at least you're still sort of using it, but at least, then I'll put the, uh, in the chocolate, exactly, exactly, exactly. And also, like, it's nice to have a little snack, and, people seem to enjoy that part, and I like to give the people what they want.
so, basically, what you're doing now evolved from doing, like, the Who Wore It Best.
Yes, it evolved from the Who Wore It Best, and it was just also, like, I feel like I was stunted by illustration for, like, cracking a joke or whatever, because it was like, I would do drawings that were, maybe it would be like because I would almost just say the joke in the word, and which sometimes still really does, like, I do still sometimes do quite good ones, like, last year I did one of my best like, one of my favorite ones, and I feel like actually drawings are also evolving a bit. I did one that was this little piggy went to Dover Street Market with some tabby boots, and then which is just and then on that same theme, I did Mary Had a Little Lamb skin bag from Dior. And, like those I feel like are kind of part of a series that I should actually revisit and continue, which is kind of like nursery rhymes because it's kind of just like it's childish, but it's for grown-ups. Well, not necessarily grown-ups, but for
Well,
fashionistas.
they're written by grown up I mean,
And they're yeah, but also a child would be like, "What?" Because, it's an adult take on. But, yeah, so the videos were just fun. Also, one thing that I realized with them, which made it what my videos where I recreate, red carpet
oh, yeah,
runway.
the red carpet, yeah.
Yeah,
I know, I call it the runway, I meant the red carpet.
yeah, was both.
Well, I guess you've done ro yeah.
And, so those videos, I basically realized that I was engaging with fashion in a satirical manner or whatever, making people laugh, but also I didn't have the language barrier that was inherent to my illustrations because they were all in English. And to translate them is quite like, because I remember my Italian grandmother would sometimes kind of be like, "Oh, like, can you explain it?" kind of thing. And it's with wordplay, it's sort of very language specific. It can't really be translated. It can, but, like, it loses it. And so the fact that my videos are basically all mime and, like, silent and it's just the sound means that, like, actually everyone can appreciate
Mhm,
it, which I
mhm,
like. I like being
mhm.
able to, like I like that they are more accessible and that they're and, like, I like kind of also connecting with, people all over the world and, like, having a very, very wide comment section that spans languages and languages. Is that cool?
Did you do one and then it sorta took off and you kept doing them, or what was that?
I did one and I got some laughs, and then I did more because I was like, "Oh, this is fun." It's fun, it's like
Oh,
you
it's
are the
hilarious.
art.
Yeah.
It's a performance, it's like making yeah. And then I did another one, and another one. And that was all like what, maybe in September, October, November, December. And then January Couture, I did Victor and Rolf. For the time, it was like I was like, oh shit, it's gone viral. And then the Oscars in March. Okay, wait, I'm talking 2020,
Oh, wow, okay.
2021, January.
Okay.
Let's say 2021, January, and then March was the Oscars. And I did Maggie Gyllenhaal and Schiaparelli, and that went like really viral. It got like kind of 1 million views. I'd never had that before. And it was obviously very exciting for me, but also what was so fun is like my friends also got really excited. And so like my best friend Songy would be like sending me like updates as well.
'Cause they didn't
Like
really oh, yeah,
tracking the
right.
numbers.
Yeah.
And maybe I actually got bigger than that. Maybe I do remember her at
Oh, I'm
one point
sure.
being like, at one point she was like, "That's more people than," she's from Vienna. She was like, "That's more people than live in Vienna." And we were like, "Whoa." And that was really fun. And that was, I guess, when I was like, because I had been so focused only on doing and engaging with Runway and fashion, pure fashion in that way for so long. And then I think that was the first moment that I was like, red carpet.
Right, like, that's the way.
Red carpet is also like is less niche. It's more again, it's more accessible. And it means that more people have seen it, know it, you widen your audience.
Mhm. So tell me about that aspect of fashion and doing things that are more accessible. Like, what is your background in fashion, which it to a lot of super insider, there's like Too Cool for School and like Inside, Inside, Inside. And, for like true fashionistas, I remember when the red carpet and celebrity was like, like a no fly zone. I mean, I've always done a lot of celebrities because I've always done covers. But so tell me about, well, what's your history with fashion? Do you like fashion? What's your history? I mean, obviously,
I've always really liked fashion. I've always really liked putting like wearing clothes. I've never obviously subconsciously I followed trends by, whatever by
for
chance.
virtue of like what's in the store, maybe.
But I'm not normally buying like if there's like a new like last year I bought the like a pair of Miu Miu shoes that were like the most trendy thing. Maybe maybe it was 2 years ago. They were the penny those, which were literally the most trendy thing ever. But I saw them in the shop, and I had like I don't know. I'm getting myself a present, and I was like, I love them. I
But
need
you're
them.
also like that kind
I
of a
want
girl,
them.
like, you're a little bit
Um,
preppy.
yeah, but it was so interesting to like because normally I don't necessarily gravitate towards something so it was so fun to have the new shoes. Like in that one moment to have like the hot new accessory was cool. But I like yeah, I've always really liked clothes. I used to like, kind of like I mean, I remember when I was younger, I started wearing I had some coat from when I was maybe 7 years old that obviously was quite big. And then I started wearing it when I was 13 or 12. I mean, it was so small and the sleeves were like here. But I remember thinking, this looks cool. And that feels to me, and it was like this kind of blue, but it was velvet, and it had kind of like Peter Pan collar, which obviously was, I guess it probably was that time. The Peter Pan collar was cool, but in that sense, you also understand the like getting from my own wardrobe. Um, pre-existing garments. But yeah, I have a tremendous respect for fashion. And I really enjoy getting dressed, and that's why I do it now all the time.
When you first started the red carpet, were people or and the runway, did people think you were, like, taking the piss? You know what I mean? Or, like
Still, people still think I'm taking the piss sometimes. People sometimes people will sometimes be like, "You will never be Kim Kardashian," and I'm like,
"What?
I'm not
What do you mean?"
trying to be because they think that I'm trying to turn it like they because I think some people think it's coming from I mean there's like people on in the comment section. I think it's that which I get very like positive comments, so
I know,
I'm like
like, wait a minute, I don't understand how that
this is when a video is going so viral that
Oh.
it's just fun, that it's that people don't have the context for it because 'cause they'll come across it and they'll, like, explore it.
Oh. Oh my
So
god, and
they
meanwhile, I'm like, "What's so fun?" Oh, okay, got it. It's
so they
com
miss the point and they think it's, like, coming from a place of jealousy, which
oh
is
dear.
really funny. It's, like,
Yeah.
obviously, that's, like, the furthest thing, and I
Well, you're
also
like a fashion insider. I mean, I consider you a fashion insider. That's why I think it's
but
you're
I'll sometimes reply even and kind of be like, "It's about the clothes, it's about the outfit, it's obviously not about the person," or I'll get, like, all of the but then people will also, like the best is when people who comment moderate each other. Because then some people will chime in and be like, that's not what this is about," and I just get to sit back and kinda be like,
wow, look at them all duke it
"Thank
out.
you. Thank
What
you."
a trip. So, okay, let's talk about your sense of humor then, because I think what's also so refreshing about you is that unlike a lot of fashion people, which I consider that you are, you're in the fashion business, you have to know a lot about it to be able to document it or work with it in the way that you do.
I do call myself peripheral.
I guess you're yeah, okay, okay, I understand.
Peripheral in the fact like, I just think that's, like, kind of where I do sit, like, I'm, in,
Yeah. But you're yeah, I guess you're not
just
like
across the state line.
stylist, photographer, whatever. I mean, in my view, you're part of the fashion industry. Um, and the new lexicon, which I think I don't know, I love the humor. So, like, let's talk about, I guess, humor and you're not giving a shit about what the fashion industry thinks. Tell me about that. Is it hard for you? Do you care? Have you ever cared?
I definitely have cared, like, moving to New York when I was 21, at the beginning or not at the beginning, but, like, when I started to get invited to, like, cocktail parties or whatever, I made myself go alone. It was,
Oh, wow. Why'd you make yourself go alone? To meet people?
well, I didn't think I could bring anyone, first of all,
Oh, yeah.
and so I
Oh,
just
and
went.
by the way, everybody thinks that. I mean,
Yeah, it literally like, I didn't realize, for a very long time that you could bring I realized, like, last year that you could bring someone with you.
dude, back in the day, you couldn't though. They wouldn't just, like,
Oh,
let
they also would never have let me bring someone, I'm sure, but I think actually, like, to my earlier point, that there's kind of no point there's no shame in asking, and I do wonder if I would have asked. Anyway, so I used to go alone, which I think was really good, for me, because it really built you thickens your skin. People weren't very nice, and it's not some people were. That's the thing. Some people aren't nice, some people are. That's everywhere. That's in fucking high school, that's, like, in the airport, I'm sometimes not nice, we're all capable of not being nice. But it is a misconception, I think, though, but, like, that and maybe if you that, like, people are, like, bitchy or whatever, because but then I really, like, found friends, and made friends from these, like, events, from shop openings, not shop
yeah,
openings.
but there are a lot of bitchy
Yeah,
people. I mean,
because
I
there are really great people, I do think it was a really good, thing that I made myself go to so much stuff, like, especially alone. It's a really good exercise in, like, just being comfortable alone, because I do have I know some people who kind of, like, would just don't want to do that, so don't do it, but I do think you do learn, like, you really learn how to you have to learn to be a bit more confident by doing so. Um, yeah, I think it was a very valuable lesson actually. I wasn't intentionally a lesson, but kind of like now, like 10 years later, I am like, that was really good because now I can go to and I actually now maybe if I have plans for dinner after with a friend, I'll be like, do you want to come buy this thing before? But uh, I still go to most things alone.
yeah. And a lot of fashion people always did because back in the day, yeah, it's like who would wanna go, I guess. And you had to go to a lot of stuff alone. I used to be terrified to go to things alone, but I guess, you meet people. Um, so, that's one of my questions, like, how do you do your job and still like, I don't know if your followers would know you're so social because you don't really put I guess you put some things maybe in your stories?
I put some things in my stories. I feel like honestly, if I look nice in a photo from an event, I'll probably share it. Right?
So, okay, how do you
Horrible, I won't. I teach myself. I did recently, and this is also a very good thing to do if you are going to events, I think, is to just use that as a moment to understand your good side versus your bad side. This is my good side. I learned this, and I'm more likely to maybe post a photo from an event if I look good. Um, and slash if I like feel, you know what I normally do, to be honest, because I don't really like just like putting whatever. If I know why people follow me on Instagram. It's not for photos of me from parties. It's for like funny shit. So like if I have, I'm more likely to post other stuff if I've done a video that day, so that in my sort like you know
okay. But don't you think that people, like, wanna see who's behind it? Do what like, when you do post pictures of yourself, what is the reaction like?
if I'm wearing something that I think is very cool as well, I'm more likely to. And then people will be like, oh, I love, oh, I love those trousers or like that suit or whatever. And I will have like tagged it if it is cool, especially if it's like younger, smaller designers that I know, then I do think it's quite yeah. I do use it for that. But I just don't want to give I don't want to be like I feel like what's quite nice is to like be able to retain some like anonymity and also like when I mean I always feel I went to a really fun engagement party of two good friends of mine on Saturday, and I basically have no photos from the party. I have one of like me and my friend Eli, and I shared that because I thought I looked good. And, but I have no photos of the party, and because I mean it's good, right? Because I had a really good time.
You were, like, in the moment.
Yeah. So but I also think it's quite nice to keep to be a bit private.
Yeah. What about, how do you keep your social schedule? It seems like you go out a lot and you work a lot, or is that not really true? How do you do that?
I'm what
'Cause I think
I'll
that's what's part of being a fashion person, why I think you're a fashion person, because you go to fashion parties, you get invited to fashion parties. I think it's still great because you I don't know, like, being funny is so much cooler than being stylish, I don't know. But, it's yeah, how do you do that? And then, like, do you get dressed? I mean, what do you
Okay, so I don't have a doormat. I live in like a whatever, like like a house with that has only 4 apartments, in Brooklyn. And, I so, like, I'll put it this way, I'm not really borrowing I'll borrow like I went to the Armani fashion show, obviously I borrowed like a beautiful dress and I waited, for the but I don't really borrow clothes because it literally makes you have to stay at home, which is just which is and also I have lots of clothes that I like. So, yeah.
so you basically, like, enjoy getting dressed, like, sometimes me, when I have to go to parties, I wanna die because I love dressing other people, obviously, but I don't like dressing myself.
Really?
Yeah, I hate it.
Why?
Oh god, no, I hate getting it was because, going to the shows. I mean, you'd always get your picture taken. It was just like the first day of school every day for 3 weeks, and this is before even, like, street style. People just did it because
For you okay, so first of all, like, I've never been no street style photographer would ever take a photo of me.
you don't know that. You have
Because
very cute style.
oh, I love how I think I dress well. Like, I think it's also something that you know or you don't. And everyone should be like, I do think there is, I think that's kind of like, yeah, I think I do wish that more people would think about how they got dressed. Care about it more because I do think it puts you in a better mood to be like I don't know, like, for example, this I mean, I guess, like, just the wearing gym clothes not to the gym, thing, I like. I can't. It's like jeans can be really comfortable, get some jeans that you like. Suit trousers can be the most comfortable thing, get some that anyway, no, street photographer, if you run into a show, they're not taking your photo, or if you go there I'm not I'm really not, I'm not saying that they would take my photo, but I'm also, like, not ever gonna be going out of my way to do it because 'cause I'm always late
Mhm.
anyway, and that luckily is not my job. If you're a content there are other content creators that it is literally part of their job to do that, and that I feel so fortunate because one time I was with my friend Tatiana Hamber, who is now does she freelance? Well, she was like the editor of at Moda, or I don't know, I'm really bad with job titles. Sorry, Tats, if that wasn't your title. But I was with her, so and she, has been going to shows for years. She was at Vogue before. So Street Self, and I looked disgusting also because I was like, oh, like it was Sunday morning because Ulla Johnson likes the show at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. Um, which is like not my, on Sundays I sleep in. Anyway, so and Tat said to me then and there, she was like, it's because you're not wearing, well, or not then and there, after when I went, oh my God, this is horrible. She was like, morning shows, sunglasses. No, I was like, well,
Right?
I wouldn't know that because I basically looked like, because I didn't have any makeup on either because it was like a more anyway. So that was a good like tip. Not that I'm like, I guess Fashion Week is coming up. Maybe I'll sunglasses because they really do just hide your face in those.
I know, aren't they amazing?
I wouldn't be in any, and I also I don't get invited to that much stuff to be
Really?
honest.
I know, wait, so
Um,
God, I feel like yeah. Okay,
I,
so are you ex
I get invited to like a fine amount, but not that much because I think that um
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. You're not like, day from
I'm not
morning
an
till night like a
editor like,
fashion editor.
and
Yeah.
again like some I like I don't have to go for work. I mean I do, especially at the beginning, I really was going a lot because it is the networking or whatever. Because I work by myself, I work from home. I don't like see any. I don't really see anyone. And it's good to like mingle or whatever. And also like it's nice to. I am quite a social person. But I do kind of like I don't really. I mean, this week is different because I do have dinner plans with friends tonight and tomorrow. But normally that's 'cause I'm going to India on Wednesday. So
Oh my God, what are you doing there? That's amazing.
Sabyasachi is having a fashion show.
Oh,
He's like the biggest Indian designer. Well,
whoa.
he's actually like a huge designer in his own. I mean, not just in India. He has huge shop down in Soho.
Was it like
Um,
Saatchi and Bobbin or something? Saatchi
no,
and
Sab
yeah.
Sabyasachi,
Oh, yeah, 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 okay.
and he 25-year anniversary show in Mumbai. Where I've never been. I've actually never been to India. Quite crazy. I'm going for like 3 days. Which I wish it could have been more, but it is then Fashion Week starts, and anyway, like and like January is I can't really just take a trip, like a long one. And but normally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm like, and I've started also, like I'll go. No, I will. I guess it's just been December, hasn't it? And there's like
Yeah, yeah,
in
like, tell
London, so I didn't go to any events. And that was quite nice, actually, to just like chill. But it is no, it is. I like it is fun. The like cocktail parties. But I really like to just chill at home on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
interesting. Tell me, this is not on our list of questions, but tell me about your personal style.
My personal style is I have clothes that I've had for so long. I have so my mom's old bags. This is one that I'm now. It's so cute.
Okay, who is
Um,
your mom? Am I
I
the only
like
person who
called
does not
Allegra Hicks. And she was a fashion designer. She
Yes,
for like how
I
many years?
know. I know her name. Well, Lucy Sykes is one of my best friends, so obviously I know her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
But so I have some of her like I think I'm like, when did she get this bag? I don't know. It's very
It's
old.
so cute. It's
It's so
adorable.
it's so cute. And it's small, so you don't lose anything. Because otherwise, I just use big ones, so you lose everything. In. Yeah. So I guess it's like I just don't really, contrary to like the whatever, the organizing your wardrobe and getting rid of stuff. I don't really get rid of anything because I do it. My new rule, because I did have to implement this, if something doesn't fit, like don't like plan on getting skinnier. Just because I used to be like, maybe one day it'll fit again. And it's like, no, bitch, like that was when you were 18. Like, not gonna fit again. And was it ever comfortable, or did you buy it because it was on sale and it was a bit small? That was the. I mean, recently I used to have some shoes that like I had bought on sale that were like literally a size and a half too small, and I just gave them to my sister. I was like, these are not. I cannot cripple my feet.
Mhm.
And then but personal style, I don't know. I have a lot of just not. I am very fortunate to be gifted some things, which is really kind. But also with that, I like it's I think it's important to, kind of maybe not like not when being gifted things, I am but careful to know that it actually will have a really nice life in my wardrobe and be used a lot and worn and appreciated. Uh,
Mhm.
I think that sometimes, I don't know, for example, I sort of hate unwarranted merch. Um,
Mm. Yeah, because, like, what are you gonna well, you can always give it to somebody who you think will
Yeah,
really
but, like,
enjoy
does
it.
anyone want another hoodie? Like, I have hoodies that I really like or, like, T-shirts. I think actually also, you know what's another thing, another point to make, which is, like, maybe just totally random and off topic. When I
No,
was
I
doing
love it.
when I was doing illustration, I did so much, like, merch, as it were, and, like, I think the really fun thing about the videos that I do now, first of all, I keep a lot of, I keep like obviously some things are parts of more than one outfit, but many of my like pieces, as it were, or like even like the shoes. Anyway, that's all topic.
No, I love it. I think it's all I think it's all interesting.
When I was doing illustration, I just think I did a bit too many t-shirts.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, everybody.
Also, some t-shirts, oh, wonderful, so nice, so well made. I did a collaboration with Sarah News. Such nice t-shirts. The quality of the t-shirts, the quality of the printing. I love those t-shirts. But then there were some t-shirts that I'm just like, did it have to be a t-shirt? I don't know if everything has to be a t-shirt. And then so some and people would tell me, why don't you start a brand? And be, I really do not need to do that. And in the same way as like when people would be like, well, why don't you do prints? I'm like, if people have a printer, they can print it off themselves. I'm not precious about my art, and I do prefer to not yeah, I feel like managing to yeah, just if you have a printer, print it, it's fine.
Okay, this is kind of interesting because we're talking about, like, dressing up, personal style, gifting, getting your picture taken, like, this is all sort of mixed in my what do you think about fashion, and what are your thoughts on social media? Obviously, social media has gotten you t to where you are, largely just by virtue of the exposure, but what do you think about, having to show up, and how do you keep going? Like, how do you keep up with your ideas? How do you feel pressure?
Yes, like right now, I haven't done a video in, I guess, you could say like since the fires, I
Oh,
guess since the day before the fires in LA, because it felt like, oh, obviously like it's so fucking sad. And when things I guess when, like, things like that can
mhm.
I feel like that, like, I was like, "Oh, I don't want to," and then it's, I'm like, how and then I guess I was, like, also just, like, not I don't know, it just, like, I literally haven't done it since Zendaya.
Well, like, life gets heavy, I mean,
I
it's
know, so when life gets heavy, it's like, how do you manage
yeah.
doing also because life gets heavy and people come to my page for levity, and that is important as well. But then I'm like, and then I'm also like, but I don't want to just be serving up crap, like because if they're coming to me for levity, then they need to see something. And then I'm like, today I was like, do I do Melania Trump? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I can. Um, but the look is though even my boyfriend texted me being like, "Are you gonna do Melania's look?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Also because then I'm like, then does it become like politicized? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing with humor too. I think it's really well, again, I just find it so fascinating that you're in the fashion business and you are I just love that fact because fashion typically is not funny. Like
Yeah,
no one in fashion's funny. You know what I mean? Like Laura is funny, but um and so I love when people are happy and funny, the people that I know in the fashion business. And so when and then I think humor is just it's so sad because humor gives so many people so much joy. However, humor, in particular satire, is so difficult in the times we live in. Like, thank God you're in fashion because that's persnickety enough, but God forbid you do something that has to do with politics, which is such a hot button issue, and that's gonna be fodder for all of us for the next 4 years.
And I did a bunch in the last regime. I did a bunch of like they were, but I think I exhausted them all. But I did like, Trumple, Stilt Skin, and what else did I do? Not My Pez and whatever. And they were all, it was all funny and it was fine. And but now, I mean, also honestly, on a real note, when you do your, when you're in the US on a visa, and increasingly with this police state or whatever, it's like uh oh, you have to like write your handles down. So I actually did go through and archive a bunch of old illustrations before I just renewed my visa in December.
Thank God.
Yeah. And that is a okay. And also because I think it used to be like if you want to share. I feel like the wording changed and it used to say if you want to share your social media handle, and now it's like if you have social media handles, you must share them
Share them with who?
with your in your visa application.
Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah.
that is so oh my God,
Which
I
is
can't
which
even.
is which is quite yeah.
That feels so
Because obviously
icky.
we thought social media was so not like,
It
but
shouldn't be
then
a part of, your identity.
look at what happened also with TikTok. That was so weird. And what's annoying is also the like TikTok is obviously like what, it was down for like an hour on Sunday. And what is annoying is, oh, maybe it's back.
It's back now.
No, 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 CapCut, CapCut. The
Oh, yeah.
editing, this was the really annoying thing. The editing platform I use is no, yeah, not available right now. CapCut. It's
What?
really good. Not available right now. And but there is actually a like stupidly easy hack, which is put your phone on airplane mode and then it works.
Okay, what a trip.
But it was like that because I had like a job video that I was trying to edit. And I opened it and I was like, no. Also, because I'd edited it down because my videos are mainly like this video was maybe 25 minutes of footage, edit down to 20 seconds, and I'd edited it down to like 45 seconds already. So I'd done most of the
Yeah, that's so much work.
brunt of the work. And so I was like, oh my God, if I've lost this.
Yeah,
Anyway,
okay.
airplane mode trick.
Wow, so okay, so you like so what is the time frame between when you have an idea and when you execute it? Obviously for you, like let's say it's a red carpet thing, are you just on call like at the Oscars? I mean,
So it depends. It like if I wake up in the morning, look through red carpet from the night before, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it this morning. Like if it like if there is well, no, I would always choose something that would be doable that day. With Zendaya, I had already done Timothy Chalamet from the what were those awards, the Golden Globes. And I really liked my Timothy Chalamet video. I thought it was really funny. But this was like where like, you actually do have to be a bit strategic. Slash also just like more people saw Zendaya's look because she was engaged. And
yeah,
that's
wait, what do you mean about Timothy? Oh, because you're wondering
from the
why
Golden
Timothy
Globes. I did
Chalamet
Timothy
didn't
Chalamet.
do.
I used fake eyelashes for
Oh
his
yeah,
facial
that
hair.
was hilarious.
And it was really funny, but it didn't perform super well.
Oh yeah,
And
because
so I
Zendaya,
was like
Zendaya.
okay. I was like, I knew
Oh,
that I had to do Zendaya, but like I didn't have everything at home for it. With Timothy Chalamet, like I had everything. So I was like, easy, done, doing. And then, but I was like, I need to do Zendaya as well. So I did it. And I did it like the next day. I could have done it that same day. I just didn't think it was as fun. But then
well, I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it's
it wasn't
again, it's more accessible, but it's not as fun.
it wasn't
Obviously,
as
his
funny, but then also
the outfit was not. There's nothing weird about it.
it wasn't as well, except for I used bowls as like the
Well, no,
that was
your interpretation was funny, but nothing about her look was like
it didn't lend
extra.
it
It
didn't
wasn't
lend
extra.
itself to yeah, exactly. And so my interpretation was like kind of funny, but I still prefer the Timothy Chalamet one. And actually one of my friends said to me also recently, she was like, I didn't love the Zendaya one. The Timothy Chalamet one was way funnier.
Well, but we're in
I was like, I
fashion.
get that, Philippa, but the difference is 24 million views on Zendaya. And so when I started to, yes. So then, because obviously also social media is like engaging with something that is, but then my top performing video of all time was a Schiaparelli Runway. Look, 100 million views. So,
We don't really know.
it's not given.
We don't know what's in the zeitgeist
But
sometimes.
but it's also it's not and that one I think had that many views literally because the editing of that video is, if I don't know if I say so myself, spectacular. Like It's such
I don't
a
know how
good
I don't know how you, like, especially
well,
the ASMR when you
well,
the
that's just
wrappings and I mean, I just
That's
can't.
live, and honestly,
So
'cause
good.
phones have a good, they pick up good sound, and my apartment, it's, like, quite small.
Your apartment is so good for that because the hardwood floors. I love the sound of your apartment.
Clack, clack, yeah,
I love this. I thought, like, she's in London, but I mean, Brooklyn and a walk up, like, that makes sense.
yeah, exactly, and also and this thing this is where, like, I film them all, frame it which frames me so well, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, it's so good, the doorway.
and the windows on that side,
Oh, yeah, it's such good light.
yeah, really good daylight, basically, which means that in the summer, I have until I mean, actually, it's 4 p.m. right now, and the light is still quite good.
Yeah. Oh, it's getting lighter. Wait, so are you let's talk about then humor in your life because the fact that you have an unending you make your money off being funny.
Which is extremely stressful.
Tell me about that.
It's extremely stressful because to your point earlier of the, like, I am sometimes like, "Well, I never" with the drawings, I was like, "Will I never have a funny idea again?" Basically, I think one has to understand that, like, actually, as humans, we don't run out of ideas. Like, you're not running out of like, I get scared. I get scared that I'll run out of ideas,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll have an idea, and I'm like, "It's for you."
So, like, with Melania tonight or today, whatever, you're gonna, like, see
I
how does
don't know
that
if
happen?
I'll I don't know if I'll do
Obviously,
that.
you've seen the picture
I wish
already.
Lauren Sanchez, her outfit was
I
kinda
mean,
racy as well. Um,
there's a lot to talk about there.
yeah, I'm waiting for her wedding dress.
I mean, I can't I
That's
don't
gonna
know what
be so
to
I've done
say
her
about that.
before, she's really fun to do.
Who?
I like ones that, like, have more glam,
Yeah, well, like,
like putting
more
on a wig, and I
yeah,
like,
but maybe Melania could be something there's something
the hat
the
is very
hat,
good.
it's like
It's just
she's a
so
little
to
Dutch
the eye.
boy or something. I
Yeah.
don't know, there's something really there's, like, a character I think that, like, on a cookie package or we call b biscuits or there's some kind of I don't know, it's there. I don't know what it is. Okay, so humor in your life, like, you're funny, you're okay. So, let's get to do you have any wellness habits? I mean, you're English, you eat candy. I can't imagine that there are, but for me, part of a huge wellness hack that I have it is humor. Like, I have to like, even with me I mean, I'm from LA, okay? I have been grieving. Like, same thing. I don't wanna post. Should I do? I don't have a house that burned down, but I did drive by Big Rock a lot. Like, I've driven by all those things, and do I cry? But then I'm laughing and you know, to your point about levity and people, like, they need levity, but what are your do you have any wellness hacks? And if so, what are they?
Actual wellness, I mean, not that there is actual and not actual
No,
wellness.
there is I mean, actual was more like, "Oh, health, fitness, blah, blah." I think,
Oh, no,
I mean, I
I'm
think
talking
humor
probiotics. I was gonna say
Oh,
probiotics.
okay, good. No, you
I have
talk
a
about
probiotic called VLS3. It's a very extreme one. It makes you feel a lot better, and yeah, that's like my thing I do every day. I really do, facials.
Yeah, your skin's really good. I was wondering if that's just English or what?
No, it is, I just started doing microdermabrasion as well. Which is, that's like, and I only have facials in London because I really like this place, Sarah Chapman, and I just, like, haven't really found anywhere in New York that I'm inspired by. I used to go to Rescue Spa, but that place is, like, $1,000 for a facial, and it's not worth it.
I know. Well, to
Especially
get the really good people, yeah.
well, yeah, 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 but even with the I don't know, they were just they, like, sort of they just didn't my skin had never been more dry because they would put a biologique
Oh,
charge
the P90.
and it doesn't work for me, and I should have never and yeah, they got me on anyway.
So what kind of, skincare do you use?
I use a lot of Sarah Chapman products as well, um, and oh, hello, and Medicate. I have Medicate as well for retinol,
Okay.
and this is my dog.
Hookah-doo-doo. Who is that?
She thinks it's her dinner time.
I speak really good dog.
Yeah. Wow. Yes,
Meow,
mama.
meow, meow.
Um,
What's
and
your
then
dog's name?
Bambi.
I think has Bambi been in some pictures? I feel like I've
Oh,
seen pictures.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and she doesn't have many teeth, so this happens with her mouth. But the
So when you say medicate retinol?
Medicaid, retinol, yeah, that's also more, like, recent. I'm, like, looking back there because it's all there. And then I use, like, a my skin is just naturally quite, like, dry, and greasy at the same time. And I guess you call that combination skin. But but I use a really intense moisturizer. And humidifier is good for here in the winter. But, humidifier just in general 'cause the heating is so drying. And I'm trying not to have to, I need to be able to move my eyebrows, so I don't
Oh,
do
so you don't do
enough.
Botox. What kind of
I don't
moisturizer?
do that stuff because can you imagine at the end of my videos if I just, like,
Yeah, you're
went to,
just
like,
like
nothing? Yeah,
like
I also don't have to do anything yet, like, I'm comfortable with how
yeah,
I'm not I don't have, what do you call it? Strong, feelings either way on I have strong feelings on any of that sort of thing, just, like, personal, like, I do need my work requires me to be able to move my eyebrows.
right? I know
Um,
like other, actresses don't think about that, which is so weird that they're still popular and still
yeah.
Okay, what kind of moisturizer? And then you said you eat well, tell me about that.
It's a crazy moisturizer, it's, like, for literally for, like, after burns.
Oh,
Um,
like, Bio Biofine?
no, not pie oil, it's,
Oh, maybe it's that one, yeah, because English
that's
people
it,
let me see what?
miso aesthetic,
Oh, I love
fast
that.
skin repair,
Wow, okay. And you do that day and night?
regenerating cream.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Okay,
do this
that's
day
really
and
good.
night, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but honestly, it's like I used to be okay, so I used to be really red. My skin used to be really, really red all the time, and I just thought it was because I was English, and that's why a lot of these English people out there, especially men, who just a really red face, obviously it's
Yeah,
'cause
I thought it was an English thing.
I think it's just a dry skin thing. Like, my undertones are definitely warm or whatever, but I think it's just a dry if you don't moisturize, and many English people do not
They
moisturize.
don't. They don't like
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I hate
so
to
it's
say, like
basically I think that's it.
okay. And then what do you eat?
So I try to eat well, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, like, I eat a bit less well, and I try to I guess I'm just like, if I'm like, I can have a bagel for lunch if I'm having something healthier for dinner. Um, I try to cook because then you're actually in control of, like, what like, I mean, I'll do, like, spicy tomato pasta, I'll do, chicken soup, I'll do egg fried rice, I'll do whatever. I mean, not really whatever, I'll do, like, a variation on things. And actually, I did recently I have started having gluten-free pasta of a certain brand because you do just sort of feel a bit better. Also, because I mean, it's, like, an aged kind of, like, thing to say, but having spent a month and in England as well, but having spent a month in England over Christmas,
Oh, yeah,
coming
Lucy
back
says the
here
same thing. She's like, "I
coming
wanna
back here,
kill
I'm like,
myself."
"What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like, it really and it because I guess last year I was, like, in England, but then I also went to Cape Town, and, yeah, spending, like, over a month, like, 5 weeks there and then coming here, it is just, like, you have to, like, readjust.
Mhm. So what I'm conscious of your time, I could talk to you forever. I feel like I'm trying to, like, think if I can crack okay, what advice? So, are you saying that was your has your career trajectory been easy?
Well, when I moved here, I couldn't get a normal job.
Oh, you tried to get a normal job?
Like, sort of.
What?
No, like, someone wanted to hire me when I was, like, 21.
Oh, to do
I didn't
like at a
think
magazine?
I didn't think that I would be able to just do no, was like an assistant to I think it was like a personal assistant to someone at Chandelier Creative, but I cannot
Oh,
remember properly.
okay.
I really can't remember properly.
Yeah.
sort of Chandelier Creative, like, rings a bell.
Yeah,
It was
which
some
is
company,
cool,
like
you know. Mm.
'cause I assistant to, like, a creative director because I thought I wanted to be a creative director, and then someone had asked me what sort of creative director or whatever, and I was like, "What do you mean, what sort?" Um, well, I thought it was just creative director.
Well, now you can be a credit and everyone can be.
Well, now I'd love to do that kind of work, but I'm like, "How the hell do you get that kind of work?" I need to like, because I love doing my I love do it, but I also have, I would love to do some consulting. How do you get that? It seems to all be like word of mouth slash through friends. Because people say to me, they're like, "Oh, you must do that kind of thing as well." And I'm like, "No."
Mhm.
Try to go, "Oh no, that won't work." But I can. Like, I can't. No one was going to sponsor my visa. I was 21. But I could apply for my own visa, artist visa, and I had to freelance and like, I mean, I had to, like, I was very happy to, but I've only ever freelanced besides the job that I had in university. I've only ever freelanced because I like a part-time job working at Jonathan Adler in university. Because I which then came full circle because I did a collaboration with them, illustration stuff earlier this year. That was really fun, like a set of ceramics. That was really fun. But so I was forced to freelance from the beginning. Has the career trajectory been hard? Well, I was lucky that at the beginning I had a roommate. I was living with someone who allowed me to be a little bit late on my rent if I needed to be. Because you know how the freelancing world is. You're not paid for 3
Net
months.
30 days? Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
exactly. More like
Net 60? More like net never.
yeah, exactly. And so I that was lucky. Had I not had that sort like so there were certain things that were like obviously luckier about my trajectory because had Liam, shout out Liam, not been like, that's fine, just pay me when you can kind of thing. I pay like, like maybe like three quarters of it, but and it was over Venmo anyway. So um and then yeah, I don't know. I've been lucky, but I also worked hard. I like it's a combination of like luck and working hard, I guess. Because I definitely worked very hard. I mean, at the beginning, I would post a illustration every single day,
Oh my gosh.
a new one every single day, like no, not paid ones or whatever, just a new one every single day.
And the ideas, like, I
Exactly,
mean, it's the full
everything.
picture. That's
And
insane.
that and doing that I think was totally intentional, but that gave me structure where otherwise I was lacking structure because of freelancing straight out of college. And so because I had to and even, sometimes because I didn't have to go into a job, do a 9 to 5, I used to go, like, out clubbing all the time. I would go, like, out every day of the week except for, like, a Saturday, basically. I mean, not actually out every day of the week, but I loved going to fucking nightclubs when I was 21, obviously, when we moved to New York when I was 21.
Of course. Get in
And
a candy store?
yeah, exactly. And but even if I was like a bit tired, I would always do an illustration.
So, are you, in your personality, are you very disciplined person?
I guess I always meet a deadline, even if that deadline is set by me, even if that deadline is I need to, do the laundry or whatever. I'd have to do it by the end of the day. I need to, yes, I guess this, yes, I am a disciplined person.
And did your parents teach you that, or is that, like,
I'm
something?
a Virgo.
Oh, okay,
I think
alright.
that's maybe more of
Okay,
a Virgo thing.
okay, okay.
Like I'm like clean, like not clean, but like not clean, not like organized, but organized in that sense, not organized like my apartment is messy, but I'm organized.
In your brain, okay. So, basically, you never felt like, "Oh my god, how am I gonna continue? I can't," or, "How am I gonna go on?" I mean, it just seems like you're probably just really good at what you do, and you're lucky that you've had a passion that you're good at, that you just keep trying and working hard.
I mean, I guess when there was, I went to the British Fashion Awards once because they have like a new wave creative thing, and I was one of them, and that was like, like big honor or whatever. But that night I like really had a sort of breakdown. And I was really like, it was like I was having a panic attack. Um, I think maybe I'd gone to see my dad after because I can't remember, but he wasn't very helpful. I like it was and then I went home to my mom and she was quite helpful, but actually she wasn't but actually it was a moment where I really realized I was like, I've got myself in this because like people can be helpful, they can be supportive, but my problem was like I was just like having a complete fucking panic attack about what I was doing.
It's pressure, a lot of
Yeah.
bloody pressure, and it's very
There's a
public.
lot of pressure, and I felt like, the kinda, like, imposter syndrome, but possibly more imposter syndrome because I was like, "I don't even like what I'm doing anymore," why have I just been on this like honored thing when I'm like not, yeah. Yeah, it was but it was really, it was like, it was quite scary. And then I went and then I just luckily I did this huge job for a brand that just was a COVID casualty, thank God, because when you are doing it, when you are an artist as well, and and you kind of do brand identity for something, I hated how they marketed it. They had done, it was like fragrance and cosmetics, and they just, it made me so nervous and sad, and like, and I hated it so much. Um, I got so lucky that I had an agent at the time who negotiated a contract that meant that regardless of whether the brand failed or not, I still got paid like an amount that was like that was that actually allowed me like a year to like chill and understand what I wanted to do. It gave me space and time. And thank fucking God she organized it that way as well, because COVID casualty, because it was launched in February 2020.
Oh, right, so it never even came out?
So basically, I mean, it like most people have no idea what it is. I know, COVID casualty in sense of like, they were like, and then they were like, actually, because even if you spent like, if you're like a big brand like that, it was owned by one of
Mhm.
the conglomerates.
Mhm.
New brand, but it was done by one of the conglomerates. And if you, I mean, even though they'd spent quite a lot of money, obviously, on it, launching a brand is hundreds of millions. And I think maybe they hadn't, but they obviously hadn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my god, okay.
It was so, that is also something that is like, that is a moment in my career that was also just very much luck. I mean, who knows if the brand had been a success, like, then I definitely would have got more money or whatever, but I would have been, it would have been really, really, really bad for my mental health, because it was already bad for my mental health, to like bring that into, um, to bring that up as well. And so it was, so instead it was really nice because it allowed me the time, and I was so lucky because COVID was a time when a lot of people were really worried about,
Yeah.
and especially a lot of my friends who are like, freelancers as well, but like, there wasn't work. And I was so lucky because I had burnout as well, because I'd been working on this fucking thing for like 2 years I basically did all of the like identity of the brand. Like I did everything. And so I've been working so hard for so, and then I got to, no, it was really it was very lucky.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do the final question, which is timely at the point and we're talking. What is next for you? So you've talked about wanting to expand in these other ways. Like what? So yeah, what's next for you? What do you want to do? What seems there might be something that seems conventionally next that's more like what you're doing and but what do you want to do?
It's been quite fun. I've had a few jobs like interviewing people at parties or whatever, for a brand or whatever it is. That's quite fun. I quite enjoy that because you also have to be like on the like on the fly asking people questions. It's like it's stimulating because it's like it's nerve-wracking, especially
Yeah, of
if you
course.
don't
Like
go,
on video?
yeah, like
Oh my
kind of
god, I
like
love
with
that.
like
Oh, I love that. I love that.
and I do really enjoy that, because it also there is, it's, it's kind of like performing, but also you're on the spot. It's similarly to when I'm recording my videos, which obviously I have all control over with the edits and stuff after, but you're on the spot and you are,
It's
and it's
improv.
harder because it's kind of like improv. And so that's a lot of fun. I always think I need to be painting more, but I don't know. That's something that I'm always like, maybe I really, because I have this horrible windowless studio in Gowanus, you couldn't beat the price. It was like $600 a month. No,
Whoa,
no
oh, I love
windows,
that.
it's tiny.
Oh, okay.
The opposite to my apartment, which is where I do my videos. And I would like to kind of force myself to go there for 2 hours a day because, as you were saying earlier, when you're so busy, I'm really not that busy. Or I don't feel busy because doing the videos is so fun. I mean, there's been days when I've done like maybe 2 back to back, and that's like a bit busier, especially if that, like, maybe if it's the Oscars or whatever, because they're more because it's, especially
They're
when they're,
more involved. Well, I think a lot of people say when you love what you do, you're never working a day in your life.
yeah. I have like time to be like eating lunch, what, and I'll have time to watch like 2 episodes of Below Deck in the afternoon kind of thing.
Just
I
to, like,
really
lighten the load, yeah.
and I'm always talking to my friends on the phone, it really yeah, every day sometimes feels like a Friday.
Play day. So, okay, so but you've done brand work, like, what do you do on that? And tell me about just, like, having bigger visions for brands. What would that entail?
I guess just, like, for brands to work more with creatives instead of, "This is my bag, look at my bag." Because I was working with a brand last year, and unfortunately this year, I'm not working with them anymore because they have actively decided to stop working with creatives, and they're only gonna be working with traditional socialites, which is fine, but I do think that, that it's disappointing, um, and it's just I wish brands would continue to kind of push the boundaries instead of because it feels regressive, especially for this particular brand that was so it was so fun and cool that they were wanting to do, kind of outlandish stuff. But hopefully they will backtrack on this decision because also, on a one-off basis or whatever.
So maybe just, like, working with it's like the medium can be the message. Is that what you
Yeah.
mean? You know, like,
Yeah.
working yeah, like
Also, because I mean, obviously, sometimes when it's just like, look at bag, I love bag. It's like a nicely composed photo or whatever. When there is, yeah, it depends. I feel like content creators, I do. You know what? Magazines are magazines, and I know magazines are like dying or whatever, but they're not actually apparently. And oh, I don't know how to. I actually don't know how to express it. I just think that being like the I just think it's sad. I just think that it's nice when brands give creators creative kind of like freedom to like do things. It's nice for brands to be doing things that are more experimental.
mhm, and I think everyone's just feeling very scared. Like, they're alwa you know, even in fashion, everyone's like, "What is the next thing?" Everyone wants to be so homogeneous. Everybody quiet luxury or whatever. It's like, when is embellishment? Like, when's embellishment gonna come back? Like, and when's humor gonna come back? And funny is money, and it's just I think the fashion industry is scared of being funny.
Sometimes they're not scared, and then sometimes they get scared again. And I feel like yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky to again to like work with as many people as I do. And it's so fun. And it's so fun to kind of like it's so fun that people do also come to me for my format that I've always been really privileged with that. And sometimes I will get like, kind of decks from brands and and they basically say to me like, "Well, just disregard it because we know what, we're coming to you to do. This is just formal, kind of like and there's a few things that, you do the brand guidelines or whatever." But, yeah. No, and then I don't know. I would like to continue engaging with fashion in a satirical manner. I'm curious as to what the next evolution is gonna be. I've quite enjoyed shooting. I did a shot myself in my creations for a magazine,
Oh, I think I saw that.
and that
What
was
was that for again? I loved it.
it was well, it was
Bizarre?
so cool. I loved it. No, it was like it was this random German magazine,
Oh, but I saw it, I loved it.
called
That's hilarious.
but it was so
Yeah,
fun, and
that was
obviously
so good.
a smaller magazine is gonna allow you the space to do something like that, and I think that would be quite fun to do, like, another sort of fashion I guess just to I need to, yeah, document my stuff not only in videos, but doing the because my boyfriend just left me his camera that, like I mean, he doesn't use it all the time, he's a filmmaker, he doesn't use it all the time, so he just, like I'm just like, "Can we keep it at home?" Because he has an office that has windows.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Lucky. And
Yeah, come
and
on.
so yeah.
This is
And
our second office. This is
so having it at home is nice, and it's like yeah. So I guess, like, kind of like, expanding.
Mhm, mhm. Well, I'm sure it'll unfold naturally as it has for you, and it sounds like your passion, your hard work, it just seems like it's all gonna flow for you anyways. I'm very
Hopefully,
confident in that.
hopefully. I definitely feel way less anxious than I did
Mhm,
back then.
mhm. Because
Yeah.
you have more comfort now, like, it's
I think also just because I'm older, I think there's also, like, when you get older, you get more like, I to be a 26-year-old girl, or, like, how old was I? Like, 24, 25, 25-year-old girl, I really felt all the expectation, and now I'm like, I just I think therapy was also helpful.
Oh, therapy?
Yeah, therapy, that was another, yeah, but and I haven't been doing it, I haven't done it for a while, but I feel actually, because as my therapist had said, she was like, "It's not necessarily something that you have to do forever. Like, you work through things and then you can come back if you like." And it was really cool to be like, "Think I'm good."
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, listen, I am very is there anything else that you feel like you wanna say? Anything that you're working on, pushing projects that you're doing or whatever? I always leave people that
I have one illustration job coming soon, and then also a couple of videos. I did a very funny I've done quite a funny video that, like, with it, I don't even know if I can say, I mean, like, I'll put it this way, it was the first time I've done a video with, like, with a food brand, let's say.
Mm. Oh my god, that seems so natural to me. I was like,
It'll be quite,
someone is gonna find her and be like, I mean
but not for but I am like, "A Ferrero Rocher, where are you at?
they
Why are
need
you not in my DMs yet?
yeah, like, it's I mean,
What the
and Jolly
fuck?"
Ranchers, what do you use
I
for the
know.
gems
Like,
again? I mean,
where are they? Who are
like,
they?
it's
You don't need to
so
be, but I'm, like, in their DMs too many times, and they're just like, I mean, like, when I have, like, the few times that I've tagged them, now I'm like, "I'm not tagging you guys.
yeah, it's, well,
You leave me
okay.
on red." No,
We
not
can
even.
yeah,
Not even red.
let's talk offline. Let's if you wanna have a chat or go to lunch or something like that. I just think that you are just, like, such a mine, such a gift, such a yeah, I have ideas.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
no, I mean, yeah, so, yeah, we can talk about that. Anyways, let's do a little wrap for this, but yes, call me, whatever, let's go to lunch or do whatever. Angelica, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I know how busy you are, and I really appreciate you, taking the time to share all the things that you shared, and I think, what you're bringing to everybody is just so wonderful. I think fashion needs more humor and, keep going, and I'm really happy that you
Thank you
did
so
this. Thank
much.
you so
Thank you for having
much.
me.